Thank you everybody for 10,000 subscribers. You guys have seriously changed my life. I am now just a few good videos away from paying off a small loan I took out for college tuition. Seriously, I cannot thank you enough. On top of that, the new videos have been so much more fun to make. That's how I'm able to get them out so quickly, because they're genuinely so much fun to write. Now, enough with the self-congratulations. After that last humongous video, I wanted to take it easy for a week or so. That one took me a long time to edit and my computer barely made it through it. I've also recently been getting a lot of common questions in the comments section about my channel. With these two factors combined, I finally had the reasons I needed to put out a casual AMA. Full disclosure, this won't be like a typical AMA where I tell you ahead of time and you come up with questions. Since I already know what the big questions people want answered are, I'm just doing this off the cuff. You know, what species is your avatar? Why did you make a video about corn addiction? And in the middle of it, plug your sexy Instagram sketches. And of course, why is your avatar a woman? Let's just get into it. Wait, actually, before we do, I do have to issue a retraction to the 35 or 40k of you that watched the duck size video before I changed it. The bit around 32 minutes about showing your boyfriend's pics to your gay guy friend, that was definitely too far, and I apologize for that. It sounded clever in my head, like when I was writing the script, but for some reason I didn't catch it when I was doing voiceover. Because, you know, in reality, it's definitely non-consensual for your boyfriend, and it's definitely not okay. I hope no one actually tries to do that. So, I apologize for that, I really do. YouTube has that feature where you can trim out segments of video even after you posted it. So of course, I went back and I trimmed out that entire bit. So, I will move on from this and try not to repeat that mistake again. Thank you for calling me out on it though, I wouldn't have caught it otherwise. So sorry about that. Anyway, let's get to the AMA. Let's get one of the most obvious ones out of the way first. What species is your avatar, Candles? You guys have come up with a lot of great suggestions, well, guesses over the years. Candles is a cat, Candles is a bunny rabbit, Candles is a deer, Candles is a sentient coffee bean, Candles is a bald black woman vampire. Yes, those are all real guesses. The truth is, it is impossible to place this character on the evolutionary tree, because, surprise, Candles does not belong to any species. Candles came about from years and years of just constant redesigns and changes. She started out as a mouse with a black fur, I think. I think that was my character for the first two videos, and her name wasn't Candles, it was Peach. But basically, if I thought that a new feature would make her look cuter in any way, that design detail got implemented in the next iteration. Like her freckle things, or those rings on her neck. Those are some of my favorite evolutions. If I had to put it into words, I guess she would have fur, but it's so short you can't really see it, kind of a deal. So TLDR for this whole thing, Candles is whatever you want her to be. Or maybe I'll assign her a mix of species in the future. I know what it would have to be if I had to pick, but I'll keep that one in the pocket for now. She's also not a scaly. I know that I've seen that floating around. Nope. She has fur. What programs do you use? This is an easy one. I use the Adobe Creative Suite for all of my videos, specifically Premiere, After Effects, and Audition. If I had the patience to learn something else other than Adobe, I would switch immediately because Adobe sucks. The only reason I can't stop using Adobe is because their dynamic link feature is kind of important for my workflow. I would switch to DaVinci Resolve if I had to pick something else. That's the editing side of things, but for the artsy side of things, Candles, Jasmine, and Matcha, I use a drawing program called Autodesk Sketchbook Pro. It used to be free, probably is not anymore considering the world right now. But yeah, all four of these programs working together to bring this all to life. Now, one of the big ones, one of the real most asked questions. Are you gay? Are you trans? Are you non-binary? Etc., etc. Nope. I am a cisgender male, assigned male at birth, and am currently choosing a male identity. It's relevant because a lot of my videos are told from the perspective, my own perspective. The perspective of a straight, cisgender male. It's important context. But I've always said that if you're trans, or gay, or non-binary, and you feel represented by my avatar, I don't want to take that away from you. I'm also straight, which no one will believe, but if you don't trust that, you can trust one thing. I love to draw boobs. So yeah, I'm straight. Again, I'm a big supporter of the pride community, even if I'm not a part of it. Funny story, actually. I've only been asked out once in my life, and it was a gay guy who thought I was gay. I was so bad at being masculine that the wires got crossed and I tripped the gaydar by mistake. Probably won't be the last time, and I'm okay with that. I'll keep you posted if my identity or sexuality changes in the future, because again, it is relevant context for my videos. How old are you? As of the writing of this script, I am 21 years old, and I will be 22 in July. I am also going into my last year of college. Do you have a Discord? My Discord username is candles00. I have this open in case anyone wants to collab on a video, or just shoot me a friend request. I do gotta say, I'd prefer it if you were, an adult messaging me. I'd feel weird messaging kids on Discord. I don't make my videos for kids, but I know some of you claim to be older than you are. No hate, but because of the topics I talk about in my videos, I don't want to be talking about sex and dating with someone who isn't an adult, so I think that's obvious. I do have a server for Lavender Coffee, but it is private right now. I didn't want it to get too big, so I made it private. But I might be open to starting a new one where I'm not the administrator, and I will be a lot more hands-off with it, and you guys just drop outfit requests, video requests, or you can just debate about whatever this week's topic was. It's hard to even visualize how I'm at that level where that would be a thing that I could do, but yeah. Let me know if you'd be interested in that, because I will make it. Why do you make sexy drawings on Instagram? Yeah, I know I'd have to address this one sooner or later. Honestly, I've been taking steps in my newer drawings to skew way less sexual. Sometimes this just straight up doesn't work, because I gotta tell you, art is not my forte. It may be a big part of my channel, but there's a reason Candles took 4 years of constant redesigns to look, good. The final product of a lot of my drawings just ends up looking more suggestive than I intended. Top Gear top tip. Don't go back to my older videos, the ones on Final Space, because you think I draw boobs now. I really drew them back then. Really, the way that I draw my drawings is just kind of what I know how to draw. A lot of the reference I used to use and do sometimes still use are very sexual or suggestive drawings, and I've been trying to change that. I may be, a YouTuber now of a decent sized channel, but I'm still human and I've still got a lot of the kinks to work out. Pun intended. I know that's a lame, wishy-washy answer, but it's just the truth. I'm human, and I got my own issues that I'm trying to work out too. I like to think of it as I just like drawing beautiful people, and sometimes I take it too far. I guess you could also see it as an outlet for me, personally. And yes, let's address the specific timing disaster in the corn addiction video. It was a very, very bad idea, in retrospect, to plug my Instagram right after talking about how corn addiction was a battle of the mind. So dumb, and I'm so embarrassed. I'm just used to seeing my own art so often, I don't even see it as that sexual anymore, because I'm drawing it, I'm in the process, I don't even think about it. So TLDR for this whole long-winded answer, I'm still working on myself, and the Instagram drawings are going to skew less sexual moving forward. I apologize for that. Do you actually not know who Tifa from Final Fantasy is? Swear to God, I genuinely have no idea who this woman is. I was never allowed to play video games on consoles as a kid. My grandma had a Wii. That's what we had. I had no PlayStation, no Xbox. We had some computer games, Zuzu Pets, and Monster Jam. Where you guys at?
Yeah, but I'm playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
I only play PC games now, like Portal, Half-Life. Huge fan of those, and I've played most of the mods. Fun fact, my first 2 videos ever on the channel were reviews of Portal 1 and 2. I had my old avatar, Peach, posing with Wheatley. It was so cute, and I really want to get those thumbnails back, but I unfortunately deleted that stuff a long time ago, so they are lost to time. Can I make fan art of your character? Of course you can. I absolutely love fan art. I am so lucky to have a community that wants to do that. and it is my favorite thing in the world. If you make any fan art of candles, send it to me either through Discord, Instagram DM, whatever, and I will give you a shout out in the next video. And not just at the very end. I want to try to make a whole segment for fan art, like I did for the duck size video. Just a very brief 5 or 10 seconds or so, but I really want to show off your fan art where people will see it. Because you guys can draw some amazing things. I've seen it. I only have one small rule for shouting out other artists, and that is I will not link to a not safe for work account. And I'm firm on that. I don't make my videos for kids, but I can't in good conscience link to a corn account. I have to take some accountability here. Suggestive art, that's probably fine, but straight up not safe for work, I can't do. I'm sorry. I respect the grind, I respect your art, but I do not want to send my audience, which may be lying about their age, I don't want to send them to that. I'd feel partially responsible. Actually, I'd feel mostly responsible. But yeah, regardless of that little road bump, I do love seeing all fan art. I will definitely give you a shout out. And speaking of not safe for work, can I make not safe for work fan art of your character? I've gotten this request a few times, and usually they're just joking, but ever since day one, I knew that if I went ahead and used this avatar, I would have to face this question eventually. I've always had an answer prepared. I get it, it's the internet, and the internet's gonna do what the internet's gonna do. So here is my policy. I do not care if you make not safe for work art of my character. I'd rather you make it safe for work or just slightly suggestive, but if you have to make it not safe for work because that's your thing, I understand. I'm not new to the concept. It might surprise you to know that I myself am a not safe for work artist at times. I draw it on occasion. All I ask is that you not tag me or this YouTube channel in that fan art. I would still love to see it, but I don't want you to tag me in it. Because I don't want it circling back to this YouTube channel where my audience who doesn't want to see it ends up seeing it. You know the drill. As a not safe for work artist, you have to be careful about who is seeing it. That being said, I do support all interpretations of my character, and at the end of the day, Candles is not real. She is not me. So draw her however you want, I don't care. Canonically, she will always be however old I am, which is currently 21, so it's all kosher. Are your videos just 100% cope? Why do you make videos about sex, dating, etc. if you don't have any experience with either of those things? How can I trust your advice? Most of you probably already assumed that, yes, my videos are just cope for lack of a dating life, lack of a sex life. Sure, you can call it cope, but I don't like to think of it that way. The reason I make these videos is because there were a few things that I never really learned as a kid, and there were a few things that changed since I grew up. You know, I'm 21. A lot of you fellow 21-year-olds out there will know we were taught dating the old-fashioned way. Courtship, always be respectful, you know, logical stuff. But the new dating world is a lot more confusing and a lot more damaging if you don't go in it with some knowledge of how to be prepared. I was also taught that sex was evil and that all men were perverts. I had a lot of feminist role models who were very extreme. They were just on a revenge quest against men. I was taught a lot of things by some people who did mean well, but it ended up giving me a little bit of damage. And only since I've gone to college have I come to realize that I was lacking in a few key areas. So yes, you could say that my videos are 100% farm fresh cope, but I like to think of it as I'm catching up on some of the things I may have missed, and keeping myself informed about how the world changes. I talk about corn addiction because I did have a corn addiction, and I want to help people not repeat the mistakes I made. This also answers the question of why you can trust what I say in my videos. You can. If you pay close attention on how I present information in my videos, you'll notice that only about 5% of it, or maybe one isolated segment at the end, is actually about my own experience. The other 95% is pure research. Just trying to find the answers to questions that I myself have. I'm someone who thinks in numbers and hard facts. I need a basis of research to build off of. The conclusions I come to are based in this research, and I've been working on doing better research as well. I really like Psychology Today, but as a lot of you have pointed out, those articles are not always written by the most trustworthy sources, and you can't just take what they say at face value. I believe someone called them the Better Homes and Garden of psychology, and I do get that vibe and I do understand. So while I might continue to use easy to digest sources like that, in the future, I'm going to make sure they're always backed up by something another more reputable article also says. You always gotta double check where the funds for the research came from, make sure claims are easily findable on other sites, the whole 9 inches. The goal of my videos is not necessarily to convince you of a single lesson. The video itself is a journey. I start out writing it, not knowing what the final lesson will be. Hopefully we can learn something together through the video, you know? And maybe the conclusion we reach doesn't even help us. That's okay. We'll try again in a sequel video. All of this is to say, I am not an expert. I'm just trying to assemble a team of YouTube commenters that really genuinely want to solve these problems of masculinity and loneliness. Whew, that got a bit real there for a second. But before I close out this video, I have one special segment for you. You'll notice that out of all these questions, the most important and most frequently asked question is missing. Why is Candles a girl if you're a guy? The problem is there's too many reasons, and I couldn't boil it down to a 1-paragraph answer. So, I present to you the top 9 reasons Candles is a girl even though I'm a guy. Trust me, the fact that it's 9 and not 10 frustrates me too. These are in no particular order. Number 1, men's fashion is boring. If you've been with the channel long enough, you'll know that I have experimented with using male avatars as well. They were very short-lived because drawing fashion for them was never really that interesting or fun. It's always, what color t-shirt can I draw on this guy next? It's seriously boring. Number 2, privacy reasons. I guess I fall into that category of PNG tubers, a subset of new YouTubers who don't show their face for privacy reasons. If I'm ever lucky enough to become an internet celebrity, I'm not there yet. Hell no, I'm not showing my face. Are you kidding me? I don't want to get swatted. I talk a lot about controversial issues on my channel, and I will probably make a lot of enemies over the years, but I don't want to stop talking about things that I care about. Because of that, I don't want to put myself or someone I know at risk of being harassed in real life. I don't think you guys would do that, but that's just the way it is. Number 3, if my avatar was a guy, my videos would come off as more creepy. I am a straight man talking about sex and dating and duck size. Suddenly, it sounds more off-putting than it really is. The sad truth is, if a guy really cares about his sex life, or is just interested in learning more about the topic, he's seen as a pervert. This can be the case a lot of the time. Sometimes the guy really is just creepy. I'm not denying that. But I feel that the chance of someone perceiving me that way is lessened by the fact that they're hearing it come from a woman's mouth and not a man's. Right? It's kinda effed up, but if I seem not as straight as I am, then it's okay. Hopefully that's a standard that, gets changed here in the next couple years. Who knows? Number 4, I'm trying to make a point about how flexible masculinity can be. It's the year of our Lord, 2024. Old notions of masculinity and femininity are all over the place. And that's awesome, because it means I don't have to play football or eat steak if I don't want to. I talked about this a bit in the modern dating video, but real masculinity isn't defined by surface level qualities like that, or it shouldn't be, at the very least. I can be a masculine man and still use an avatar that's a woman. It's a stretch for a lot of people, I get it, but to me, masculinity does not mean man necessarily. Masculinity means I do what I love and I try to help other people. Not that feminism doesn't say that, but that's how I define being a good man. That's what it means to me. Number 5, Candles is like 90% boobs, and boobs are pretty easy to draw. How do I draw a male chest? No clue. Number 6, I probably have some body image issues I need to work out in therapy, and I like to imagine myself as a beautiful woman. This is probably the truest reason that Candles is a girl. I've almost always drawn myself as a woman, not a man, even when I was like a kid. Maybe because it's fun to just pretend, or maybe I have some issues with my body image, and I'd rather be perceived as beautiful. Maybe I'm closeted. I don't know. I don't know any more than you do. I would have to go to and be able to afford therapy to find out. So until then, I'm just gonna do what I do. I do recognize if I ever started dating someone, I would have to explain it or try to explain it, which is one reason I'm afraid to even start, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Number 7. I grew up around a lot of very masculine role models, and I'm not super masculine anyway, so my avatar is a way of expressing that. A lot of the men in my life are very masculine, almost to a hyper degree. I've never felt that I myself was, so this avatar is sort of a middle finger to those people. I don't have to be masculine, haha, or whatever. Not that being a very masculine guy isn't a bad thing, because it's pretty hot. I say I'm straight, and then I say stuff like that. I've been confused for being gay because of this, but we're approaching a world where you'll have no idea what someone is until you ask, so time is on my side. Number 8. She's a test for you. That's right, simps. I make videos about controlling your impulses and understanding your triggers. Based on what I read in those comments, I read every comment by the way, I've concluded that a lot of you guys are down bad for my avatar, someone who isn't real. So you could see this as a giant social experiment. When you guys are no longer simping for candles, that's when you know the advice in the videos is working. And finally, number 9. It's just fun. Drawing outfits on candles and seeing which ones look cute is just kind of a fun thing to do. So thank you for watching this short question mark video all the way to the end. I hope this answered some of the questions you may have had, and I'll round this out with a plan for the future. I really want to take these conversations to the next level. I can do research and package it in a video, but describing everyone's experiences in a single video is impossible, I've learned. So here's my idea. I put out a video. I wait about a week while you guys comment your own situations, your own experience with corn addiction, your own dating life, whatever that week's video topic is, and then we do a second video where I read some of the comments, anonymously of course, and we try to sort out the ensuing debate, and I try to give you advice on your situation in particular. Because leaving a comment does help us to understand each other better, but it would help even more if I made a response to it, and maybe we could come to some sort of mutual understanding. On that note, I will not include your username. I don't want anyone to get harassed. Regardless, I still think this would be a fun thing to do. So let me know if it sounds like something you'd be interested in participating in. So that's it for this video. Thank you all so much for 10,000 subscribers, and thank you for watching.